Hey everybody, and welcome back to another cool show. Woo! Now we're going to look at join the Syndicate on Mafia today. So we're going to start off with that, which is going to be pretty cool. So if you want to join the #1 most feared family on both Pulse Mafia and B&B Mafia, then you definitely want to join up today. We're going to be covering this every couple of days, doing a big join up sort of show linked into our normal Pulsechain and crypto market coverage. So definitely join up to that as well. As you guys know, I am in the leadership of the Syndicate, along with the Don Archie Capone, and of course a big, awesome leader out there, Max Payne, out there doing a great job as well. So there's Knuckles, I think it is. So yeah, pretty cool, doing a good job. So hope you guys are doing well out there. Our voice is almost back to 100%, getting there. Just what am I? Maybe 97%, something like that. So we're getting there. Let's get into it, folks. We've got a cool poll at the moment. Will you apply to join the Syndicate family on Mafia, on Pulsechain and BNB? So you can apply for that. Remember, there will be a $100 joining fee, but you get the benefits of both chains because we're the family dominating on both chains. So definitely get in there for that as well. We've got 4 options there on the poll. I am already a family member. Yes, I will apply to join up shortly. Maybe I'll thinking about joining. Or I need to do more research to get in there, vote on that. We've got 9 votes already. Let's see how many we can get during the live stream. Now, I've also pinned the Telegram recruitment page for Telegram. That's where you'd go to join, and then you'd just go through the application process. Virtually most of you should be able to, join up. Obviously, there are, weeding out, potential enemies and things like that. But apart from that, you should be able to join up and benefit. Now, we're going to talk about some of the lucrativeness about how lucrative that might be in the game. It is a GameFi. It is the #1 GameFi on Pulsechain, but also it has a big DeFi element to it, right? So we're going to talk about that. So yeah, join up. The link is in the top, pinned at the top there, and we are doing a recruitment drive at the moment. So join up and to the #1 most feared family in the house, and the most generous, by the way. Archie the Don is the most generous Don out there, as well as the smartest one as well. So definitely get out there, folks. All right, so that is the link there, and you can see the link pinned at the top of the chat there if you want to join up to that. I do encourage you to do it. We're going to talk about some of the GameFi, DeFi revenues and things that you might be able to make at the break-evens. We're going to talk about that today. So it's going to be pretty cool. We haven't done that before. So it should be good. Let's see who's in the house, though. We got Lies Beneath. How are you today? Very, very good. Thank you. Last day of official winter down under, which means it's the last day of summer in the Northern Hemisphere, right? I'm pretty sure, 31st of July. I think that's right. So, yeah, that is a big day. It is overcast outside, though. We had a bit of sun this morning, but it disappeared. It's back to overcast, but I will be trying to do a big walk up the mountain when I finish the live stream. Let's see if I can do that. That'd be great for me if I can actually get out and do that, and looking forward to it. So Hex Pulsex is center for the win 100%. We're going to look at all the charts on Pulsechain today. Obviously, they're broken down a bit further with the pullback in Bitcoin. So we'll talk about that too. We got who else in the chat here? We got DG and Hexkin in the house. I'm already a member. Scarface, nice one there, DG and Hexkin. A big shout out to all the Syndicate members that are currently in the family and doing a great job. You guys know what to do. Follow the Don's requests, and you know how we roll. We got Wookie in the house as well. The enforcer of the Syndicate is in the house. Yes, Wookie there, a Syndicate capo. Even got it in his title. He is a head of a kill squad, for goodness sake. So you don't really want to mess around with the old Wookie. He is pretty scary. Wookie the Blade is in the house. We got DJ and Hexon, Superman, lots of love. Appreciate that. Crypto Fury as well. Hello, everybody, and fellow Syndicate family members. Man, we got quite a few in the chat here today. That's cool to see. A big shout out to you, Crypto Fury, and keep up the great job. You are noticed. All of you guys that are active and engaged, you are noticed by the Don. The Don is very much over who is highly active in the family. So big shout out to all of you. Your names get mentioned in our leadership discussions as well. Wookie says, if you are not with the Wookie, then you should pay a tribute to continue using oxygen, says Wookie. That's pretty harsh. But that's how harsh the Syndicate is going to be in the game. So get used to it. Bakuna says, play and earn. That's right, play and earn. That is GameFi, and Mafia is the #1 on Pulsechain and also on BNB, doing a great job over there too. Lots of opportunities there. Big Hooney says Mafia on BNB is cheap. Big opportunity. Yeah. If you're in the syndicate, think about just picking up a bit of Mafia on BNB. Just accumulate, scoop that up while it's so cheap at the moment. Definitely a good opportunity just to pick up a little bit here and there. You can pick up for like $1 million for like $200 at the moment, somewhere in that ballpark. So it is a very good value. Probably cost you not quite 10 times that on Pulsechain, but close to it. It was definitely there the other day. All right, so let's get into it, folks. Let's jump into the Pulse Mafia, and we're going to go into that. So let's jump over there, bam. And of course, here is Mafia, pulsemafia.io. Now, the cool thing about this game is that it's really cheap to make a player. It's only 2,000, Mafia on Pulsechain, 2,000 Mafia on BNB to set it up. Now, the prices of Mafia on those two chains are different, of course. But still cheap, only a couple of dollars pretty much to set up a player. And you can set up multiple players, so it's pretty cool like that. And you can just connect your wallet and buy a bit of Mafia on chain, and that's how you can rock and roll. So we have a look at the Mafia on Pulsechain at the moment. You can see this is where it is at the moment. These yellow cues here are just key milestones as the game is in pre-launch. So there's pre-launch phases, 11 of those before the game goes live. On the phase 12 was when the game goes live. We're currently at phase 5 plus. So waiting for the map, which is phase 6 coming up. They've got the price at the moment down at 0.15 of a penny. So just moving down with the market really. But every time it moves down, it's always filling up the vault. So the vault is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the vault is the big prize pool that all the families are after. So it's doing pretty well. And that's where you can make some pretty good earnings. So that is the Mafia on Pulse. If you want to pick up 2,000 or more, you can speculate, you can buy Mafia to stake it, all sorts of things like that. So if you want to do that, you can do that. Let me just put that in there, Mafia on PLS. That is where you can buy it. So let me post that here on the link. Mafia on Pulse. Crypto Furious is definitely going to DCO, dollar cost average, and scoop up some BNB Mafia this month. Yeah, I think it's a pretty smart move, especially at this current price level. Really, really good before the game starts. And it makes the family more powerful too, right? The syndicate gets more powerful when we control more of the Mafia supply. So a very good smart. It's a win-win for people at the moment. So definitely, if you're in the syndicate, consider picking some up. And of course, on this Pulse pullback as well, you can pick up a bit of Pulse Mafia as well. So that is the price there, and it took it away. Now, this is the BNB Mafia, and you can see it's much cheaper to pick up. Like I said, maybe 10x or so difference. Not quite that much, but maybe 9x difference, something like that. And it's well below the yellow line, which is the sacrifice price. So you're getting a really good deal getting it on Mafia over there. Now, obviously, there's less game activity at the moment over there, but I think as we ramp up into the game, once the game starts, I think things will pick up. So you're actually getting in, while that lull's on and getting a stronger position in the Mafia. You can become a very big millionaire holder, like I say, just by a couple $100, right? So you can become a million holder. Remember, there's only 1 billion tokens. So it's quite a significant chunk that you're able to pick up for a good price. So that is the BNB Mafia at the moment. That's currently at 000199. So let's post that in the house there just while we're here. Get this out of the way. Mafia on BNB. And that is the link to the charts there. So if you want to pick up some Mafia on either chains to set up a player, 2,000 on each chain, obviously much cheaper on the BNB side to set up a player. You can do that. You can buy it to speculate. You can buy it to stake it as part of the family, make the family stronger. So yeah, there's some options there for that. Kind of cool. Now, if you want to join up to the syndicate at the moment, so let's just quickly go through the Mafia game just briefly. We'll have a look at the family. So you can see here at the moment, the syndicate is number 1, led by the Don Capone. And that's what you'll be joining if you join up to the syndicate today. You'll be joining up to the number 1 family, the most feared family, with the smartest Don. And of course, the first allegiance on the Pulsechain side. So the directorate has got a number of families in it. So you're joining up to the badass family, and that means you've got a better chance of winning and making better returns in the family, right? So it's very, very bullish like that. The Gearheads is number 2. They're sitting at number 2 there. They're probably the most competitive team on the Pulsechain side at the moment, followed by the Salamancas. And then, of course, the Accuser and the Hustlers are both in the directorate allegiance led by the Syndicate. And, of course, those positions move around. 3 and 4 move around quite often. If you get into the Yakuza, you would help move us back up to number 3 on there. So you can see there's a lot of positioning going on. So at the moment, that's the play here on Pulsechain. Let's jump over to the BNB side, have a look at the results over there at the moment. We've got 881 players there, 17 crime families, 124.71 BNB over there in the vault as well. But in terms of the families, the Syndicate is over here at number 2. And how long will that be for? Maybe they'll move into number 1. We shall see. But obviously the OG Gangsters number 1 there, and then the Mugnows, the Yakuza, and the Illuminati at number 3, 4, and 5. The Syndicate, of course, has got the Directorate over there as well on the BNB chain, so you can see how dominant the Syndicate is. 6 out of the top 10 families in the allegiance of the Directorate, which is headed up by the Syndicate, the most feared family. Like I say, with the Don Capone, well feared, and of course super smart Archie Capone there. And of course, we've also got Max Payne, actually another part of our leadership as the Capitacina, and he is incredible at his job onboarding. So if you do onboard, if you do decide to join up to the Syndicate, which I highly encourage you to consider, that is the link there, and you'll probably end up meeting Max Payne or one of his team members that will help onboard you and go through the application process, right? So like I say, if you're a trustworthy player, you should be able to get in pretty easy. It will probably cost you $100 to join, but that helps strengthen the family. And of course, you benefit from both chains. As you can see, we are very, very powerful, and we are earning a big part of the vault money at the moment and plan on staying that way. All right. So the vaults at the moment on the BNB side are sitting at 124 BNB, 73,000 US dollars at the moment. On the Pulsechain side, this is just with the current pullback too, with the prices. Imagine a bounce back in the prices of BNB and Pulse up and away. Now on Pulsechain, we're at 4.8 billion Pulse. In fact, we're very, very close to hitting the game go live target. But of course, we don't think the team is ready to do that yet. We haven't even got the map out. So I don't think that the team will quite make that at this stage. So we're going to see how that goes. But we can see the game wiki at the moment is that we're at up to phase 6. And of course, the vault requirements on phase 11 are 5 billion Pulse. So we're very close to that. And therefore, most of the people are expecting that the game will probably be delayed because the team needs to be technically ready. And we also know that Jacob was off unwell for about a week or so. I don't know if he's still off, but that is the play at the moment. So 4.8 billion, getting very close to the requirements of phase 11 for the launch, and 4.8 billion Pulse there, not far away from 5 billion. So perfect time to join. This is the number 1 GameFi on Pulsechain. So really, you're going to get a good opportunity there. But let's talk a bit about how much money you might make in here quickly. So if you do participate, let me just double check something here first before I go too far. Let's have a look here. No, that's all good. So let's have a quick look at the some of the money that you might be able to make in this game, and it may be worth a good investment as well. So if you can join the Syndicate family, you build up some decent personal wealth, then that's going to lift you up in terms of the allocation of all that allocation of BNB and Pulse that's in that vault. So hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially once the game goes live, it could be up $1 million in a Pulse and BNB rally as well. Talking about a lot of money in there now, and of course you could get access to that every single week, get paid. So if you build up a decent personal wealth, it could take you. Let's say you spend maybe $3,500, you could get all that money back inside 6 weeks. So that's a kind of a break-even estimate that's out there at the moment. So if you do join up to the Syndicate and contribute by investing a couple $1,000, you could reasonably get a lot of that back within 6 weeks, given your share of the prize pool, should you be accepted. So we're talking about some big stuff there. So yeah, you might pay $100 up front, but you're going to benefit from all the benefits of being the most powerful family. So definitely something to consider. And of course, the stronger you become, the more you contribute to the strength of the family as well. And it helps maintain those bullish payouts there as well. So it's kind of a win-win there as well. Yeah, joining, if you join, you may end up getting put into the Yakuza or the Syndicate or the Illuminati or the Hustlers. Those are all families controlled by the Syndicate there inside the allegiance of the Protectorate there. So those are the things that you'll be able to, and the Directorate, sorry, I should say. So those where you should be able to benefit from. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity on BNB as well. So to pick up lots of positions on BNB at the moment. So yeah, you could make probably do a turnover. Let's say you spent $3,500 on building your personal wealth to say 6,000 or so, you could probably get break even in 6 weeks of payments following the launch of the actual game. Once we reach the game launch, there's some opportunities there. Now, there's lots more opportunities inside our Discord. You can read about those too in terms of making good DeFi income playing the game. So there we go. Some food for thought there. You can find more details from the Syndicate guys in the Telegram. So that is that at the moment on that. And let's have a look at the Syndicate joining. So this is the Syndicate on X. Now, we've got 61 followers over there at the moment, so do strongly suggest that you follow this. Now, what I would like to see you do is, if you're already joined, follow on X if you're on X platform, formerly Twitter, of course. If you're on X, join up and follow the Syndicate. This is the official Syndicate, and of course, that runs the Directorate, which runs all those other families pretty much. And so, yeah, join up today, the Syndicate. And what I suggest to you is repost one of the reposts, leave a comment, and help grow the Syndicate, right? You can see Max Payne, he's the head, or he's the Capitacina, one of the top 3 in the family. And of course, he is head of onboarding. So he does head of onboarding there and doing a great job. So definitely worth joining up there with Max Payne. Got a big following as well, 2,500 followers on X, so that's pretty good. So get out there and participate, retweet, repost, become part of the strength of the family. I really encourage you out there to be engaged. The more engaged you are, the more you get seen as well. Don't forget that you are well recognized people that are active. So definitely do that. Now, what you can do once you join up onto the Syndicate on X, you can hit, if you want to actually join the family, you can either use the link in the chat there, which is the Telegram. You can also join up in the Discord as well. So the Discord link's in the video description. You can hit up Archie in there. But if you want to hit up Max Payne in the Syndicate on Telegram, that's the place to go. You just click on that link there, learn more, and you can join up. And that will take you to the Telegram link there. You can see the Syndicate Recruitment Center. It's got 106 members so far, 18 online. This Telegram channel serves as a hub for the potential recruits to learn more about the Syndicate and begin the process of joining our ranks. If you have what it takes to be part of our elite organization, you can read on to discover more. So that is the link there, folks, and you can see it's pinned to the top of the chat there. Strongly encourage you to do that. So get in there. Now, we're going to be doing a lot more promotion moving ahead, so just take that into account, especially now that I'm really back more on deck, and we've got a couple of quite a few people. In fact, I would say a lot of the influencers now on Mafia, a lot of them are in the Syndicate. So we really are going to make a big play on that. So I look forward to that. Let's see here. We got Crypto Fury says, hey, everybody and fellow Syndicate members, absolutely. And join the family, man. Join the family. Let's see here. We got, I think we covered those comments. Let me go through those. MV's in the house there. What's going on, people? Good to see MV in the house there. Doing a great job on X as well, promoting. So big shout out. So that is the Syndicate at the moment. So join up today and repost and stuff like that. Become part of the Syndicate army as we promote Mafia and the Syndicate game, Syndicate family, and go for gold on that. Join part. We've got a really cool bunch of people in there. All right, let's get into the rest of the show. So we're going to move into our market updates. So let's maybe change our brand around here. Let's do Dog to the Moon, eh? Let's do Dog to the Moon. Or should we do something else? Let's get Dog to the Moon. There we go. There, Dog to the Moon. How about that? So we're going to talk about that. Actually, we'll put the Bitcoin one up there. How about that? Look at that. It's all changing in the background there. All right, let's get into it. And let's end our poll first, actually. The poll there. Let's get in there. And we'll end our Mafia poll. See what those results were. We got 11 votes. Will you be applied to join the Syndicate family on the Mafia? I'm already a family member, 72%. So awesome stuff. I need to do more research, 18%. Like I say, hit up those links, ask questions in Telegram or Discord. Maybe I'm thinking about joining, 9%. Yes, I will apply to join up shortly, 0% there. So nice to see a few new people there interested. A big shout out. And if you're watching after the live stream, definitely consider joining up there, either Telegram and so on. So cool. All right, let's jump back into it. We've got a lot to talk about with the markets. Now, I wanted to talk about the US debt. I know it's a funny place to start. Every so often we do have a look at the US debt clock because it's insanity. And we can see at the top left there, I don't even see US national debt has hit $35 trillion. Can you believe it? Mind-boggling numbers. $35 trillion has been hit on the US national debt. Just hit it. Crazy stuff, isn't it? And that is what the US has to deal with. Now, obviously, that's going to be a big challenge moving forward. And like I said, there's only one way for that to come down or to be addressed, and that is if the Republicans end up controlling the House, the Senate, and the presidency. So I think that's the only way that's going to come down at all. If you don't control those three branches of government, then you really, the three agencies of government, then you're really going to have trouble doing that. So third branch, of course, is the justice. But it's going to be difficult it's going to be difficult to do that otherwise, right? Because Democrats love just spending more money and they don't care about the level of the debt. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see where that all heads in the next election on the 15th. But that is a ticking time bomb waiting to happen, right? Ticking time bomb waiting to happen. So we shall see where that goes in the future. But 35 trillion, just unbelievable numbers. It's got here numbers here. Debt per citizen, $103,000. Debt per taxpayer, $267,000. Just to give you an idea of the magnitude of that debt level. Pretty crazy. All right, let's jump over to the stock market today. Now, the stock market closed lower after having a good day. So this is the results for Tuesday, of course, in the US. And yeah, I don't know where the X is on that video, but S&P 500 closes lower as Fed kicks off meeting. So we're looking for that July meeting, right? And we had the results today at the moment. I can't get rid of this crazy video, but let's see where we can get rid of it. No, it won't let me get rid of it for some reason. Anyway, we've got the Dow Jones there is up 0.5%, 203 points to 40,743, but the S&P 500 is down 0.5%, so down 27 points to 5,436. The Nasdaq is down 1.3%. Remember, that's got all the tech companies in it. That's down 228 points. So it's a pretty decent pullback at 17,141 on the index there. US dollar is down slightly at 104. Let's go to the commodities, see if we can get updates for that. Yep, West Texas is actually up 0.2%, 50 cents to $75. Brent oil is down slightly, down 2 cents at $78.51. Gold is up slightly there, 0.1%, $2.10 to $2,454. Silver is down 0.1%, almost 3 cents to $28.50 on silver. And of course, we are going to be looking out for when the interest rate pivots happen. It's not only going to benefit crypto, and it will benefit also gold and silver. So that's what we're kind of looking to see there. And we'll probably see a pullback in the stock market. That just typically happens when we get an interest rate pivot. So that's kind of what we're expecting in the future. The Fed meeting kicks off for 2 days. Meeting is expected to culminate in an unchanged decision on interest rates Wednesday. So that is true. That's what we're expecting. Following a string of data showing inflation, investors will be looking for the Fed chair to lay the groundwork for a September rate cut. So that's when we were looking for that interest rate cut. And that's going to be bullish for crypto, right? Because it's perfect timing. Any indication of additional confidence in terms of inflation moving to its target or an upward adjustment in its assessment of the progress of inflation would presumably increase the odds of the September adjustment in policy. Markets will have fully priced in the 25 basis point cuts at September. So any disappointment to that would be negative for the markets, with a small chance of a reduction of 50 basis points and have 66 basis points of easing priced in by the end of the year. So there we go. So basically looking at potentially 2 cuts there before the end of the year. So that's the stock market today. Let's have a quick look at anything else we're going to talk about there. Labor demand, consumer confidence surprised to the upside. So that is kind of cool. Confidence there up a little bit higher. Looking at tech stumbles on Microsoft earnings. Those are some of the other titles there. All right, so let's jump over to the crypto markets. We got Bitcoin there at 66,000, down 1%. We got Ethereum there at 3,268, down 1.34%. Solana's down, Tron's down, ADA's down, Litecoin's down, Matic's down. They're all down, but BNB and XRP are both up. XRP, they're up 4.6% at 63 cents. BNB up 2% at $585. So there is a bit of movement there. Now, Bitcoin dominance, 53.92%. So it has slipped a little bit. Remember, it was over 54%. So that's definitely come down on Bitcoin. And that leads us into the Bitcoin chart. Let's see if we've got any more comments in there. Don't forget to get in the chat there, make it lively. We've got $66,000 at the moment. We are above the 50-day moving average in yellow. So it's still very bullish outlook for Bitcoin. $64,343 at the moment, holding up pretty well. And the 200-day moving average slowly creeping up at $59,481 on Bitcoin there. So still looking very good, this chart, despite the last couple of days retraced there. And of course, that sinister Democrat move to move the $2 billion of Bitcoin there. So we'll see where that all heads. That is where we are at the moment. Now, I just wanted to play a couple of videos here following the President Trump's speech in JFK at the Bitcoin conference. So let's play a little bit of video on here and listen to what one of the senators had to say, pro-crypto senator.
Tried to talk. You were at a Bitcoin conference, and this was our cryptocurrency conference, and that was where the former President Trump was speaking and fundraising. And we've been asking this question on the show: why Bitcoin? Why now? Why crypto assets? What's sort of the motivation to really embrace a network of crypto assets and become the preeminent network on the planet? From a Republican sort of stance, is this something that is concrete, and why?
Lisa, I think this is something that has evolved over time. I first began looking into crypto in the previous administration in 2018. That was my first engagement. I initially started at a point of skepticism, as I think many of my colleagues do. But when I began to understand the underlying technology and realizing the potential for dramatic productivity gains, what I thought to myself is we need to make certain that it happens here in America. The last thing we want is to see what happened with the semiconductor industry, where it got pushed offshore and weakened us from a geopolitical standpoint. We need to see this innovation happening here. I've been in many conversations with President Trump. His thinking is likewise involved, and he's embracing the fact that this has tremendous potential for America. We want it to evolve here. We want to create the ecosystem for it to thrive here. And the last thing we need to do is push it offshore. However, the current administration has done everything they can to attack this industry, to push it offshore, again, to use the SEC, the CFTC, every tool at their disposal to come in and attack this industry and refuse to provide it with any type of regulatory framework. President Trump made the statement at the Bitcoin conference that one of the first things he'll do is change out the administration's leadership. Gary Gensler, he said, will be fired. That brought people to their feet in applause. He's going to end Operation Choke Point that's been taking place in the crypto industry here in America. And he's going to try to create the environment here where the industry can thrive, and we'll see the next wave of innovation happening right here in America.
So I think that's pretty bullish, and that's just a reminder of what's come out of the Bitcoin conference. Obviously, with Trump and JFK, they're both bullish about crypto, and I don't think you really need to think about how much passion that Trump actually has with it. It's actually just the initiatives themselves, which is super bullish. There, changing the guard on the SEC is just the first thing, and of course, a strategic reserve potentially a second event, and of course that may have to be recovered, and we will see where that heads depending on what the Democrats do leading up into that, because they like to undermine any of his policies, right? So that is kind of where we're heading at the moment, and we've got senators like Bill Hagerty there in big support. So let's see where that heads, but certainly a bullish move in the right direction, and that also gives more confidence to more corporate players to enter the market. So let's quickly look at a little clip on this. This is a couple of days old, back at the Bitcoin conference, but it's got some really good intel about how the Bitcoin money is getting bigger. Now, obviously, if it flows into Bitcoin, it's going to flow into crypto as well. And so this benefits not only general crypto and Pulsechain. So it's kind of cool to see a whole ton of new money flushing in into the crypto market.
The price of Bitcoin climbing on day 2 of this year's Bitcoin conference in Nashville. The cryptocurrency now topping 67,000, actually 68,580 at the moment. MicroStrategy also getting a boost today ahead of Executive Chairman Michael Saylor's speech this afternoon. Joining me now from the Bitcoin conference is Bill Miller IV of Miller Value Partners. Bill, great to have you join us today. And, I'll start maybe facetiously to say, what's new to be said at this big conference of Bitcoin believers that hasn't really been in place since the dawn of the asset class, let's say, because it seems as if it's always just sort of reinforcing, if you believe in the attributes of it, you should own more and more people will own it. But what's your message going to be to the group?
Mike, thanks for having me on. There's always something new and cool happening in Bitcoin. And so I don't know if you saw just yesterday or the other day, Ferrari said they're now accepting Bitcoin for payments. But what I'm really excited about is the fact that at this year's conference, we now have additional companies coming out and saying, we're going to put Bitcoin on our balance sheet as a strategic treasury asset. And you haven't seen that before. Before it was MicroStrategy and they were doing this funny thing and, oh, it's working out. Well, now guess what? You're seeing other companies come to market and start doing the same thing. And from my perspective, if you continue to see Bitcoin gain adoption, which it has a 15-year track record of doing, not owning it is a bad idea. You're going to see these companies outperform. And then other people are going to look around and say, how can I outperform? The world's a competitive place. Bitcoin is a great way to do it. And so the momentum just continues to gather.
I guess the question I would ask, and now certainly if more companies decide that they want to buy and never sell Bitcoin, it's going to increase the demand relative to the fixed supply. We all know that that would work in favor of the prices. But what problem is solved by companies doing that? I mean, I just don't know how many companies are really going to want to place that sort of an asset on their balance sheet and have that be an aspect of their story.
Well, I think it's worth asking what their alternatives are. And the alternative is you can buy a treasury asset that whose white paper says it's going to depreciate at 2% a year at least. And if you look back at the history of the Federal Reserve, they printed approximately 6% supply growth over an incredibly long period of time. 6% supply growth, that just happens to correlate with the long-term growth rate of nominal GDP. What do you know? So here's the real deal. Bitcoin is the new global denominator for capital. So the problem it solves is you don't have all of these politicians running around trying to curry for favor and redistribute wealth and change taxes and change all sorts of things. You get what you get. You get 21 million Bitcoin and that's it. And so, we're incredibly optimistic about it over the long term as these dominoes continue to fall in favor of Bitcoin.
I guess, I mean, not to argue the point too directly, but I mean, you haven't seen companies over the years say, I'm going to hold a bunch of gold with our treasury cash, right? I mean, it would be a similar idea.
Yeah, the issue with gold is you can't divide it, you can steal it, it's hard to store, et cetera, et cetera. I also don't think you're going to see a lot of companies come out and say, yeah, we're starting an Ethereum strategy, just because liquidity is not there. What Bitcoin has now is path dependence behind it. And so you're getting this critical mass and things are moving in the right direction.
Let me ask you quickly about MicroStrategy. You said, you said the kind of casual case is, they're doing this funny thing. This funny thing is raising a lot of money and selling equity or convertible debt, buying Bitcoin with it, holding the Bitcoin. But the stock now trades at a huge premium to the value of the currently held Bitcoin. And, that premium has kind of waxed and waned over time. Why does it make sense to pay effectively a premium for the Bitcoin on MicroStrategy's books?
Well, because you have an incredibly intelligent owner who's thinking very carefully about capital allocation and how to use that premium to maximize value over the long term for all of its constituents. So if he can sell shares at a premium to the price at which he can pay for Bitcoin, that's incredibly value accretive on a Bitcoin per share basis on their balance sheet. So if they can continue growing Bitcoin per share at an attractive rate, that's incredibly attractive. So that's why you own it.
Yeah, but I guess what you're saying is buy the stock today because they might dilute you by selling to new investors at a high valuation and then put it and then recycle it into Bitcoin?
Well, no, there's actually optionality much longer term to the extent Bitcoin continues to gain value.
Yeah.
So you think about what are the largest financial institutions in the world worth, hundreds of billions, $1 trillion around there. And so that could be a potential business line longer term for MicroStrategy. You have the world's scarcest collateral.
All right, Bill. Hey, I really appreciate you giving us a taste. So enjoy the conference, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate being on.
All right, Bill.
All right, so that was a really cool insights into the growth of Bitcoin just after almost 15 years is continuing to gain momentum and more corporates untapped to come on. It really is kind of cool. So we've got lots of momentum. Now we've got obviously the price at the moment, 66,160, still holding up very well above the 50 and the 200-day moving average, and the 50 is above the 200-day. So we're still on that big bull cross there and continuing on. So everything is looking pretty good for Bitcoin despite the pullback, the last couple of days. Now, we've got some longer bullish case. Now, obviously, with all that growth that's potentially coming in the continuation, it's still early days. Can you believe it? And, of course, Michael Saylor here has got a little chart here. $13 million is the Bitcoin base case. And these are some massive numbers. Bitcoin 21-year price model. So if you were thinking not just this bull market cycle, which everyone's looking to make mad gains, but if you're thinking longer term, holding assets, then Bitcoin is definitely looking pretty bullish. Bitcoin 21-year price forecast there, and we can see at the moment the bear price there, currently 2024 at 65K, let's say. Bear case $3 million by 2045, so That's pretty cool in 21 years. 13 million is the base case. 49 million per Bitcoin is the bull case by 2045. So if you're thinking about retirement, you got the years ahead, then just, having one Bitcoin or just part of a Bitcoin could play off pretty well for you. And of course, you wouldn't even need a one Bitcoin at these kind of prices if you were willing to hold there for kind of like a retirement hedge. You could just buy, 1/10 of a Bitcoin or even a 20th of a Bitcoin, and that could be a great aspect contributing to your retirement. Now, obviously, you got to ride through all the bull and bust cycles through that period, but pretty exciting. And we know that Bitcoin halving is going to continue to taper off. Future supply, remember, there's only going to be 21 million, so pretty exciting there. Percentage of the Bitcoin percentage of assets at the moment, that would be 0.1%, in a bear case 2%, base case 7% of assets held, and 22% on the bull case. Market at 1.3 trillion today, 68 trillion on the bear, 280 trillion on the base case, and 1 trillion or 1 quintillion there, I guess, is on the bull case. ARR there, and that is 21%, 29%, 37%. So some spectacular returns over that period of time, and try and do that on indexes. So that is pretty exciting. That is from Michael Saylor. It's a pretty cool post there. I thought that is some of the bullish case for crypto. If you're taking a very much longer term view, just pick some up, leave it in your wallet for retirement. Just make sure that people have access to it or something like that when you eventually do. Now, obviously, not only do we have bullish case for cash coming in, as we just talked about with those videos, we've also got bullish price predictions over a long period of time. We also have, obviously, meme coins and utility coins for the first time on Bitcoin through the Runes protocol and previously the BRC ORC20 protocols from last year. And they are still looking very good. And obviously, with Bitcoin pulling down, those are pulling down at the moment because obviously lots of them are leverage plays on the underlying asset. Just like we see on Ethereum or Solana or whatever. So at the moment, we've got Dog Go to the Moon, which is the one we're picking for the big rally. This bull market is down at 5.6 cents. So that's a really good pickup at the moment, 371 million market cap. That's the number one rune, of course. And then we got a few of the others, Bank Nakamoto Dollar, Ryzik there, down 10%. Memes Go to the Moon there is pretty flat at the moment. And Pups World is down 10%. Audi Go to the Mars is up almost 1%. Liquidian token there up 2.83%. Rooney is down 10%, and number 10 $1 billion cat is down 9% there. Wolf Pup and Satoshi Nakamoto used to be in the top 10, and I'm sure they're going to get back up. But there we got Lobo making a bit of a comeback today, up 12.5% at just under $19 million. So some opportunities there. That is on MagicN.io, the number one DEX for runes. Obviously, centralized exchanges are a big course of that. Now, we're expecting some tier ones to pick up dog in the future. And, of course, once that happens, this price will get re-rated big time. So just to make sure that you're still early. Number one trading at the moment is on Gate.io. But once we get other exchanges, tier ones listing, it could be off to the moon. And remember, I think they are trying to actually go to the moon in October or something on a SpaceX flight. So we're looking forward to that as well. It leads us into Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment, $3,276, just below, or just not quite in the middle, just in the top half, I should say, of the range between the 50-day moving average, which is currently $3,346, and the 200 moving average in blue, which is $3,133, and we're currently at $3,276 at the moment. So not quite as bullish as Bitcoin, but I'm sure it's going to have its rally in the sun soon on the old Ethereum there. And of course, looking at overall markets, we've got 2.37 trillion as the market cap on CoinMarketCap. It is down 1.7%. The meme coins are all pretty much down. The leader's only down a few percentage points, so that's not bad. But as you go further down the meme coin top 10, top 15 list, then you see the percentages go down on the weekly a lot more. Bookham Meme there is still doing pretty well, up 25% in the week, up 5% today. And we've got a few others there. Mobcoin there, up 4%. You can see that Dog now is falling out of the top 10 for the time being, is down 9.5% for the week, 6.78% for the 24-hour period is where Dog's sitting at the moment. So let's have a quick look at that ranking. Dogecoin at the moment, $18.3 billion. So let's see where that is. It's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 14 is where dog is. So it's pretty similar to what it's been the last couple of days, sitting at dog. But man, we're looking for that. That is the only meme coin, a Bitcoin meme coin. And the narrative will be that Bitcoin should have the most valuable meme coin. So that's what we're backing there for the bull market once we get that game on, right? You know, Bitcoin hits 100K, Bitcoin hits 150K, then, you know, it's going to be absolute huge hyper rally as a leverage play for dog being the number one meme coin. And maybe it even will have enough gas to take over even Dogecoin. And it will need tier one listings for that. But pretty sure that some of those are coming down the line soon. So after it's already had a good number of exchange listers, just waiting for all those hot tier ones to list it. So that is kind of the play there at the moment on the old memes. Let's go into Pulsechain day 445. We got Pulse at the moment is sitting Pulse is sitting at 000456, down 2%, 46% on the main sacrifice price. Pulsex is at 000248, down 2.8%. The buy in, and that is at 25% of the mean sacrifice price. We've got the buy and burn at 932.4 billion Pulsex, and that is 4.61% of the public supply has been bought up and burned. Incentive token is down 4.1%. 2% of that is in Pulse, of course. The other 2% is in the ratio. The ratio is now 50, just below 56,000 Pulse per one incentive token, and the incentive tokens in existence 38.1. Almost 38.2 million incentive tokens. And of course, they're emitted from the Pulsex V1 farms. Hex at the moment on Pulsechain, down 2.5%. In fact, it's the second best performer today, again, like yesterday. It is down just below 57/100th of a penny on Pulsechain. EHEX is at 13/100th of a penny on Pulsechain, which is pretty similar to yesterday. Combined price of EHEX and PX is down just below 0.7 of a penny at the moment, just below that. That is Hex and the Richard Hart tokens for day 445. So if we could look at the charts there. Now, the charts have been looking good for a turn, and we've been watching the Fibonacci, right, to see how far. Obviously, the higher it finds a floor, the more bullish it will be for the next run as the RSI cools off. That's kind of the what we're looking for there. So let me see the RSI on the daily is down at 47. So it cooled off all the way up at near 70. And of course, that's if it passed 70, that's really oversold territory, overbought territory. So it needed to cool off, and it has cooled off after that big rally. And so that is still intact. Let's have a look at where the Fibonacci is going, and we'll get rid of the RSI there. We can see that we are still above the 50, so still holding pretty well. We hit the 50 a couple times now. I think as long as we hold that 4,500 mark, we are looking very, very good, because obviously we don't want to go down to 61.8, which is typically where a lot of these charts go down to after a rally, because we're wanting to get a structural change in the chart. And I think we're very close to doing that. Holding up here would be very, very nice indeed for that next move. And the next move, of course, we want to breach 5,700. We're currently at 4,500 at the moment. So we really want to breach that 5,700 in the future on the next rally. So fingers crossed, and maybe face some resistance at 6,200 should we do that. So that's kind of the next range we want to go to, and that would change the structure. We can already see that we've got a structural change already with this resistance line in yellow. We've kind of breached out of that, but we want to start making higher lows, etc., higher highs. That is where we're heading. And of course, I do think with the Richard Hart SEC response due on the 22nd of August, that is a bullish event because it's a bit like, as I say, in a boxing match, a bit of a punch bag. And Richard does have a dream team there. So we'll see whether that incites a rally and whether the magic carpet ride kicks in as well. But that's 22 days away. So basically 3 weeks away from now. For that, that is where we are. And of course, moving in the future, we have the RH SEC court oral arguments on October the 22nd. So that's ticking away there. And we've also got October coming up in that period as well. So that's a particularly bullish time. So we will see whether that can outshine the actual court case, or whether the market gets nervous around that point. We will see what happens there. But that is the first bullish thing, to dismiss the case altogether. And of course, then we've got the US election 5th of November, interest rate pivots, of course, as well in September. And we could have a very bullish run into the new year. Now, obviously, if Trump wins the election, that's going to be super bullish for Pulsechain because the market may price in the fact that President Trump, should he win the election, and I think polls are still generally in his favor, despite some fake mainstream media stuff recently, we will probably see by January, that's the insurance policy, right? And therefore a change in that leadership, getting rid of Gary Gensler and etc. So that's kind of the insurance policy there too. Potentially changing leadership, dropping a lot of frivolous cases against crypto, and leading us in the right direction. So that would be the bullish case. If not, if we don't fail to get a dismissal case, then we go on to information discovery. And obviously we want those, either one or both of those things to happen. We win the dismissal case, and Trump wins the election, and that is bullish, not just for crypto, but ultimately for freedom and democracy, which the elites are trying to take permanent control away from people. They blatantly lie on the mainstream media right in front of our faces with things we can see. It is the most hilarious thing. But apparently, there's part of the market that believes everything they say. So it's hard to deal with those people. Anyway, that is democracy. For how long though? Right, so that's Pulsechain. Let's jump over to Pulsex at the moment. Pulsex looking even better on the daily there. Let's go have a look at that. We're at the RSI. It's not quite as cooled off. Remember, we're down at 47 on Pulse. We're at 53 here on Pulsex, but the chart's looking way better, right? We've got a bullish cross back here. Seems to be holding up at the moment. Yeah, we're still well above that yellow support line, which you guys can see is pretty cool. So we're looking really good there above that. So we've still got higher lows and everything else. Pulsex is looking very good indeed. So just to keep accumulating this sweet baby, that's all I can say. And that's where we are at the moment. So if we go to the weekly here on Pulsex, so look at that. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. It's a pretty good looking chart, actually. Really starting to get some strength there. And we got some support back down here at around, let's say, 1900, 2000 is the support level on this angular support. And we're above, above this previous resistance. So it is looking pretty good in our Pulsex chart. So fingers crossed for that, and maybe that, bullish news around Richard Hart's rebuttal for the dismissal case could be cool. Don't know if it's going to be published though, just like the other one. So that's lead us into incentive token. Incentive token holding up pretty well, like a boss here at the moment, waiting just for that move on, right? And it's getting very close. Looks like it's very tempted to start break to the upside. And of course, if it gets over 61, it's going to be bullish. 71,000, that is hyper bullish and a breakout, and we could see some massive re-rating in this price. $10, $20, something like that. Could be crazy stuff. So pretty cool. Let's jump over to Hex. Hex is kind of still being the cheaper one to pick up, but it's still holding up pretty well. I think we can all agree. RSI cooled off to 46. It's even better than Pulse at the moment. So a lot of potential upside here for Hex at the moment. 57 hundredths of a penny. So let's see where that can go in the meantime. But next target 7,700, and then of course 1 cent after that. It's kind of the next two targets there. Fingers crossed we hold that up. I think on the fib too, we've got the fib. Let's look at the fib channel there, and I'll go full chart mode and have a look at the fib channel. We'll get rid of the RSI as well, and we can see that we're still above the 50, just like Pulsechain. So if we can hold this line, very key. That's going to be good for Hex, and that is currently at 5,600. We're just above that at the moment. So let's see if we can hold 5,600 there. We certainly had the cool off in our side for that next run in the chart there to break some new highs and get over 7,700 would be the next mark. That'd be very, very important to hit. All right, EHEX, of course, will get dragged up currently at the bottom of the range. Not too much to see there. The RSI very chill at 41. So the lowest RSI altogether is on EHEX. So even the biggest range for a rally there on X on Ethereum at the moment, given that RSI. Let's go to some of the derivatives at the moment. Nothing green on the Hex derivatives at the moment. Let's go to, stable coins. We have got nothing really happening over there. PDI at the moment is below 0.2 of a penny. And LUSD, which is the other speculative one, is down 2.87% at the moment. I'm not sure where the buy and burn is going at the moment for LUSD. Let's have a look at the website and see what it says about the buy and burn, or at least the burn there, I should say. They're targeting 95-99% burn, which is probably what you need to get that hyper movement. The saying 4.534%, so that's moved only a little bit since we last checked it out, but it is ticking away there. I don't know. It's definitely not going to take. They talk about taking 5 months, but that's definitely not on track for 5 months. So we'll see whether that all turns around later, maybe with the lift in volumes. All right, let's go to the influencer coins. The only influencer coin up today was up yesterday too. More from Travon, up 3.8%. Matty Allen's making a bit of a rebound there as well. That was the worst performer yesterday. Is now the second best performer on my list, up 3% at $2.90 on the old Matty Allen. And let's have a look at the Pulsechain overall. Pulsechain overall is sitting at $7.6 million on weekly volume, so super low. I mean, let's face it, that's super low. We want to get back over 25 mil, so we've got a bit of work to do there. 109,000 transactions too. That's pretty low as well. So yeah, we got a bit of work to do. What's the best performer there? BBC token from 9-inch exchanges up. The Dow token there, the Dow reflection token, the Gray's currency there, up 3.66%. The loan token there as well from Liquid Loans at 1.7% as well. In fact, how's that going? Let's have a quick look at how Liquid Loans price chart is going. That is the chart. Let's go auto log there. Auto log. Let's go. That is the chart at the moment. So man, it's come off the bottom actually quite a lot. Bottomed out. It's what was it? 5 zeros, 1,200. It's now at 5 zeros, 2,150. 3 there. Recently got to 3,000. So a nice little bounce back there. All right, so that is what's happening there. In fact, let's have a quick look at I don't know if we've got the details there. It's been a while since we looked on here. I might have to do a whole show on our top tier blue chips on Pulsechain. It's been a while. So I used to cover them all the time, but I haven't for a while now. So that's probably my bad. I need to get back onto that. Let's jump over to the mainnet and have a look at the DApp and see what the TCR at the moment, 331%. It's pretty normal, I guess, normal to be expected there. But did we have some analytics? Do we have some protocol performance? Here we go. So 670 billion pulses locked in at the moment. That's $32 million worth. We got staked. The USDL is 8.18 million. That's 85% of all the USDL. And this is where I like PUSD Algo, right? So you guys know why I keep harping on about PUSD Algo, which I've got to do another stream on that too. It's been a while since doing that. That sacrifice is still open. The link's in the video description if you want to pick up a bonus on that. Is that it solves the what they call the stable trilemma, which is around scalability, right? So that needs to be solved. You know, USDL and Coast, they solve, you know, that security and was it diversity type of play, and collateral play, but they don't solve the scalability necessarily. And we've definitely seen that limit so far in the market. But PUSD Algo is designed to solve that scalability aspect. So the super bullish for Jacob to pull out. Now, obviously, PUSD Algo is from Jacob, the developer of Mafia. And you can see why, because we would like to see a lot more of these. Imagine free flowing electrons. We'd a bit more like to see that happen here. You know, it's a bit like the Higgs boson. Can it be, you know, give some mass to these free flowing particles, subatomic particles. And so we want to see some more free flowing USDL stablecoins, right? So PUSD Algo is the perfect solution for that. It is the perfect form of Terra Luna, right? Terra Luna had all these flaws in it, but PUSD Algo looks to have solved all those, and so that is mega for scalability and offers huge upside for people, and could be the killer app, not just for in the DeFi space on Pulsechain, not just where's Mafia is sort of like the killer app for GameFi potentially on Pulsechain, but maybe killer app for DeFi is PUSD Algo with that scalability upgrade, and it could offer huge revenue and opportunities and upscaling there. So fingers crossed there. Full DeFi solution too, right? No human intervention like we saw with Terra Luna. So pretty bullish there. Let's see where the heads. I'm going to cover that again soon. That's kind of the play we're at the moment. So what have we got there? 28% stability pool. It's definitely come down a lot. Staking pool APR down 2.71%. So moved down quite a lot as well. USDL supply $9.66 million, which adds to the economic mass. But like I say, a lot of it's staked, 85% staked inside the protocol. We want to really get a lot of that stuff moving around, you know, as much as possible. And that's where I think where PUSD Algo comes into play. Hence why I talk about it and have promoted it so much, at least in the past, and I'll probably talk about it again soon. So that is pretty much it. Let's jump over to Hex, of course. We've got the final results here. I think we've got the results here. 7.418 Hex here on Pulsechain on Hex payouts. So that's Hex Petitia, 7.418. Of course, that's day 445, is it? I think it was, yeah. And what's the payouts here? We got, what else we got here? The T-shares, T-shares down 7,000, sitting at 9,186,000 at the moment. And the payout or penalties today, wow, 5.5 million Hex penalties today going into the reward pool. We've got 68 million Hex in there for those T-share holders, so well done to you. Up 17 liquid holders, down 7 miners, 123,300 miners at the moment on Hex on Pulsechain. So that is the numbers. And of course, we've just started the day for day 446 on Pulsechain as we continue on deep into the second year of Pulsechain. Let's have a quick look at the gas prices as we round up some of the numbers here. 56 minutes, doing pretty well with the time. 400,000 bits at the moment, so a little bit high on the gas. 7/10 of a penny for Pulsex swap, 400th of a penny for Pulsecoin transfer, 1/10 of a penny for PRC twin transfer. The validators at the moment, like I say, with the price of Pulse at the moment, you can become a validator. Very good passive income opportunity. And we're sitting at 48,624 validators, 1.56 trillion locked away, plus that liquid loans amount, right? That adds up a lot. So kind of cool. The bridge. We're just below $100 million, $99.6 million through the bridge at the moment. DAI's taken back its number one spot over ETH, sitting at 28.85 million there. So I think we're just down slightly from yesterday. Obviously, Ethereum coming down, that's dropped a bit as well. Bitcoin price down a bit, that's dropped as well. EHEX there sitting pretty stable, around 7.9 million, if I remember rightly, with the price at 1/1300th of a penny. That's kind of where we are. Haven't got much more to say about that. So that is pretty much it for today's update. Man, we covered Mafia and the Syndicate, so definitely consider joining up to the Syndicate today. And of course, you can hit us up there on X platform to join the Syndicate. And of course, the number one most feared, smartest family out there. So definitely join up and a chance to earn the best returns. So definitely worth joining the Syndicate today. And like I say, you could get a 6-week payoff once the game goes live on phase 12. And that's pretty cool. And then a jam for that. That doesn't include your underlying assets, which you keep, right? That's right. This is talking about the revenue side, versus the amount that you spend on your underlying assets, assuming you don't get killed in the game, of course. But distribute the assets, things like that. So there's definitely a huge opportunity. Join up the Syndicate today. There is the list. Build up your own profile. Help the family get stronger. Also, you can obviously pick up Mafia and things like that on Pulsechain. That is Mafia on Pulsechain. If you want to buy some there, that is Mafia on BNB. If you want to pick up some of that, and that's super cheap at the moment. And of course, if you want to support the Syndicate on X, definitely get on that. We're going to be doing some campaigns, so definitely get in on that and help make us stronger. That's all we can say about that. DGN says Trump 2024, absolutely. Honestly, I cannot understate the fact that that's the only path of global freedom. The Democrats will continue to turn the United States to socialism. That's going to, as we see with all socialist countries, that moves them into poverty and despair, and the elite control people. We don't want that. We want the American dream, freedom, all that good stuff, safety, security, prosperity, all the stuff that get undermined. So it really is important that Trump does win. Protect that freedom. The other thing, of course, is that America will continue to undermine the Democrats will continue to undermine the Constitution. The mainstream media will continue to, say a lie is the truth and the truth is a lie. And of course, they will also hand over more power to the global institutions, and therefore take away the power from the biggest state in the world, which has given us freedom for hundreds of years. The United States. So it's going to be very, very important that is won and maintained. And the deep state gets gutted. The deep state's got to be gutted ultimately. We got Peter Dellenhouse here. G'day. Good to see you, Peter. Good to see you in the chat there. All right. What's that? Any thoughts on a Mantra at the moment? Mantra? You mean Mintra? I think you're talking about NFT Marketplace. No, I haven't really checked them out for a while. I do need to do something on all the NFT marketplaces. I think there's 7 official marketplaces on Pulsechain, and then there's a couple NFT markets that places like in Mafia are part of protocols. Not too many thoughts on that. I do know, I'm not actually sure what Gerardo's been doing on that. Gerardo is the influencer and founder of that. I'm not sure what he's been doing with Mintra. All right, so I think we're going to end there. 1 hour and 1 minute. Sounds good to me. Hope you guys have enjoyed our vast coverage. We've covered lots of stuff today. Mafia, of course, the Syndicate, Pulsechain, and crypto markets in full. Hope you enjoyed and gained some insights in some of those as well. If you want to find out more details, join our Discord. Links in the video description. It is a private Discord, $5 a month, 16 cents a day. Really great value. Get lots of great information and great people. Also, if you want to get that extra mile and you look at multi-chain opportunities and join up to the strategy club today, that link's in the video description on the same link, and that is $35 a month. Pretty good value, and we cover a lot of meme coins, ROI protocol opportunities, and much more. So definitely worth getting in on that too. That is the link that lies if you want to join up to the Discord today. All right, yeah, I think that's it. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're streaming to over 10,500 subscribers on 3 channels, Hex Token Channels, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. And I do appreciate all the support that everyone has as we share this journey on Pulsechain and in crypto during this bull market, which is really pre-takeoff. I mean, we're going to get those days where it just goes gain. They're coming. And that's when you really make the big money. The only thing you have to do during that bull run, which is potentially starting in October, like the next level where it really ramps up, is you just have to know when to sell, right? You don't want to ride down the other side of the bull market. I can't say that enough. So you just got to make sure once you've made some good gains, take some money off the table there so that you keep that for another day. Because, the bull market goes up to a high and it goes down the other side, right? So just remember that. All right, take care, everybody, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's show. Bye for now. Should we play something out? Cool, let's do it. Let's play Magic Outride. It is my favorite one there, so let's do that. Magic Outride, where are you, Richard Hart? All right, take care. Peace out. Bye for now.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.